Hi, this is my series called Random Asset Making, just speed prints of me making object assets. As you probably have noticed, it's been since I've made an episode, so to make up for the delay, this episode is special. Instead of just 3 characters, I will be making 7, since it's episode 7. Let's start with the original character first. This time, I'm making an object with a K. They're kind of like trading cards for K-pop groups such as Triple S and Artemis. I know most of you guys probably don't care about K-pop that much, but I thought it would be a good idea to make into a character because with this asset, I wanted to try something a little different with the face. As you can see, an objects have a picture of the member on the front, so I wanted to make the character so that their face was part of the picture. It was originally a picture of Carrie's stick figure, but I thought the design would be a bit less busy if it was David instead, since there's less color. I gave the object this pose because it's a move from one of Triple S's songs, Girls Never Die. Yet, about the fact that it's taking me twice as long to make assets, I haven't made them in a while, so it took me a bit to get back into it. That's enough K-pop for now, time for our first requested character. Number 240 is Lawnmower, a legless character submitted by Lucky. Thanks for submitting this character. Now, Lawnmower. Designing this character was a struggle since lawnmowers are pretty complex devices, and the fact that I've kinda gotten rusty at asset making didn't help. It took me a few attempts, but eventually I got it. Instead of using only real-life photos, I also referred to a cartoon drawing as well as a similar character I made a long time ago, based on the Hevo from Super Mario 64. I also broke up the asset into separate parts instead of trying to draw everything at once. Doing it this way made it much easier to visualize each part so I can place them in the right way and stuff. Next character. This is our first request in the thousands. Number 1150 is Glasses Case, a legless character submitted by GK. Thanks for submitting this character. Thankfully, Glasses Case was a much simpler design to take on, unlike Lawnmower that had several parts. This only really had 1 or 2. As you may notice in the footage here, I divide the asset into an upper and lower half. I saved it for later so it'd be easier to do. I divided it so that I could make a version with it open, which I could be being an interesting element to add since it is a case. Making the inner part of the lid was a bit tricky, since the lighting tripped me up, and as shown in the reference, it's a little curved, so I had to use gradients to make the transition from light to shadow smoother. As you can see, I made 2 versions of the key pose, with one using the lid as its mouth, since I thought it'd make for a more unique design. Just in case GK doesn't like it though, there's a version with a regular face as well. Moving on to our third request. Number 220 is Paper Boat, an armless character by The Bright Plan. Thanks for submitting this character. Paper Boat was also pretty easy to do, especially since I had a good reference to, obviously, refer to. I tried making it follow the same perspective as Foldy, but changed my mind soon after. Instead of making it white, I decided to go with pink, just cause it's a little different and complements Foldy. Now for our fourth request. Number 246 is Red Cup, another armless character by QJ Saw. Sorry if I got it wrong lol. Thanks for submitting this character. Red Cup was another asset that was pretty straightforward, so I'll take the time to talk about the community post I made a month ago. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna step away from making tutorials as often moving forward. I know this may disappoint some of you guys, especially considering what I said at the end of my flip-a-clip video, but I honestly don't really like making them as much as animations, and this channel was meant to be a place for me to share my animations and stuff, so I'd rather have fun doing that than just straight tutorials. I hope you guys understand and look forward to my videos in the future. Back to assets. I noticed that the highlights and shading didn't follow the shape of the cup, so I fixed it later on off camera. I'll show the updated version on screen here. Time for the fifth request. Number 1661 is Ceiling Fan, a character submitted by an anonymous supporter. Thanks for submitting this character. Ceiling fans come in all shapes and sizes, so I decided to go with one that wasn't too complex but also had a unique look to it, nice and rotund. For this asset, instead of just shell shading, I wanted to try using gradients for the shadows on the metal parts. For me, it looked a little weird at first, but I think it ended up alright in the end. I included it everywhere except for the little pole in the middle because it looked weird to me and was pretty much unnoticeable from afar. Since the blades in the reference image were kind of tilted, I tried replicating that, but it just didn't look right to me, and after a lot of fiddling, I settled on this. On to our final request for this episode. Number 1409 is Grape, a character submitted by another anonymous supporter. Thanks for submitting this character. We're ending this episode with another simple design. Thankfully, the only detail the supporter added was a hat, so I opted for a little top hat. I also adjusted the shape and colors a little so it looked more like a grape and less like an eggplant. By the way, thank you guys so much for all the support lately. The Flip a Clip video was something different that I wanted to try, and I'm glad you guys liked it as much as I did. If you have any animation ideas or styles I should try and stuff, put them in the comments, along with your thoughts on the assets in this episode. I feel like I might have fell off a bit, but maybe I'm being too hard on myself, I don't know. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. Click the Google Forms link in the description to suggest a character I should make next, and click the Google Drive link to get the files for these assets. Bye.